Hi everyone, welcome to the next video in this responsive navbar tutorial series. In today's video, I will show you how to create the styling for the mobile version of the site so that it looks like this. So let's get started. I will copy and paste some of the code just to make this video a bit shorter. I will, however, explain what I'm doing. So to begin with, we already have some of the CSS from the previous videos, but I will start off by importing some fonts and also declaring some CSS variables. So here at the top, I have imported two fonts. One is Monotone and the other one is Nunito. I will link to them below so that you know where you can find them. I have also declared some variables. I saved some colors and I also saved the fonts. I'll remove this one because we don't actually need it. And I will begin by styling the body. I will give it the background color of D2, which is this darker blue color, and I will give it a font. Of Nunito. So basically I want the whole page to have the Nunito font. Next, I want to give some styling to the header and also to the burger. I will paste in the code and explain what I've done. So for the header, I want it to be transparent. So I gave it a background color of transparent. I want its width to be 100% and the height 35 pixels. I don't want it to have any borders, so I said border none. Then for the burger, I just gave some basic styling. So the color of the three lines should be white, but the background color should be blue. It should again not have any border, but it should have a border radius of 50%. This will make it look round. I also give it some width and a padding and a font weight of 700, which will make it bolder. I also gave it a text shadow, a cursor of pointer, so that when someone hovers over it, the cursor becomes a pointer, and I made it a display inline block. The complete code is available through my GitHub, so feel free to have a look at it. It's also available for my code pen. The last part of the header that I want to style are the ULs and the links. So I'll again paste in the code. And I started off by removing the bullet points from the ULs as they looked quite bad. I also made the text bold. I made it a bit bigger by giving it a font size of 1.1 rem, and I removed the padding. Then I also styled the links. So I removed the underline with text decoration none. I gave it the color white. I made it a display inline block and I gave it the width of 100 and the height of 100. If I save this and we refresh the page, it looks like this. I'm zoomed into the page, so that's why it looks a little bit big. I just want to make sure you guys can see it. Next, I want to style the welcome section, and if you remember, it is the section right below the header. So this one in main with the site title. I want to apply a background image to it, the one we saw of the city. So I will just go to the end of my code and I'll select it using the class selector. I will give it a width of 100% and I will give it a height of 100 VH so that it stretches from the top of the page to the bottom. I will also give it a background image. Taken the image from Pexels and I will just copy paste it in here. I don't want this image to be repeated, so I will say background repeat, no repeat. I want the size to cover the entire section, so I will say cover. Background attachment should be fixed. And then background position should be top center. I also want the text, so the H2 here to be white. Oh. Okay. If we have a look at the page now, I can see that the image appears, but it does not reach at the very end. So I'll just have a look if I included the normalize sheet. And no, I have not linked it, so I'll do that now. It is important to add the normalize style sheet before yours, so that you can overwrite the styling in normalize and not the other way around. So now that that's added, I'll just have a look if it took care of the paddings and margin. And yes, it all looks good. Now I want to style the H2 and its position. For that, I need to make a small change to the HTML. So in the welcome section, I need to add a div. And then within it, I will add the site title. And then I will just copy some code in again, and then I'll explain it. Okay, so I gave the welcome div the position relative, and I aligned the text center, and I want to position it 30% from the top of the page. Then for the H1, I gave it some text shadow, which will give it a kind of glow. I also gave it the font family monotone, so that it looks a bit different. And finally, I also gave it a font size, and I used the calc function so that the font size adjusts depending on how wide the screen is. So when the screen is smaller, it's not as big as, for example, on a desktop. If I have a look at the page now, it looks like this. The site title is centered, and I'm not sure if it's very visible, but here there is a 35 pixel area which is not covered by the background image, and I want to correct that. So in order to do that, I will go back to the header where we defined its height as 35 pixels, and I will give it a margin bottom of -35 pixels. This way the welcome section will move up by 35 pixels. Now we only have to style the rest of the page, which has the placeholder text. I will copy paste this in, as it's just some simple styling, and it doesn't relate to the navigation. I want to make some final corrections so that the hard-coded colors we use in some areas gets corrected. So, for example, here with the header nav, instead of using the background color black, I will just use the dark color. And for the border, here I will use blue. So now if we have a look at the page, it looks like this. The text colors changed and the links now have a underline. That's pretty much it for this video. In the next one, I will show you how to style the desktop version. If you like this video, please subscribe. I put out tutorials every week. Thanks so much for watching and have a great day.